Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and leave a comment below, because this story isn't just shocking, it's haunting. And trust me, you're gonna want to see every twisted detail unfold. The night was colder than usual that New Year's Eve. The streets of the city were mostly quiet, dotted with the occasional partygoer and the distant hum of fireworks. But in an unremarkable alley behind a row of townhouses, something sinister had already taken root. A lone officer stood over a body, flashlight cutting through the dark, icy fog. The victim's identity was soon confirmed. A well-known real estate agent, Monique Baugh, had been found dead, abandoned like a lifeless doll. Her last moments had been terrifying, but no one yet knew the full story. Earlier that week, Monique had been contacted by a couple posing as potential homebuyers. Their names didn't ring any alarm bells. Their demeanor was convincing, their pitch flawless. They wanted to see a house, just a routine viewing, nothing out of the ordinary. But beneath their polite smiles and carefully rehearsed scripts, a dark plan was taking shape, one that would end in murder. Detectives arrived at the scene, the alley smelling faintly of gasoline and something metallic. The forensic team began taking photos, careful not to disturb the subtle signs of a struggle. Witnesses were scarce, no cameras had caught the couple's faces. All that remained were small, almost insignificant clues: a torn piece of fabric snagged on a fence, a set of muddy footprints leading toward the trash-strewn exit, and a phone found just yards from the body, its screen cracked, its last messages hinting at confusion, fear, and a frantic struggle. As investigators started piecing together the timeline, a pattern emerged. Monique had been meticulous with her appointments, always sharing her schedule with her office. The couple's request for a private showing was unusual, but not enough to trigger alarm. They had manipulated trust, exploiting the very system designed to protect her. And now, detectives were chasing shadows, trying to reconstruct a crime that had been executed with disturbing precision. Even colleagues were shaken. Monique wasn't just a name on a business card. She was known for her charm, her professionalism, and the quiet way she always looked out for her clients. How could anyone plan such an attack in broad daylight on someone so careful, so beloved by those around her? Then, a chilling discovery was made at the crime scene. Behind a dumpster, investigators found a small, leather-bound notebook, partially burned, but enough pages survived to reveal strange notes, addresses, times, and cryptic phrases like "final step," "don't fail," and "the key is in the lock." The implication was clear. This was no random act of violence. It was a meticulously planned operation, and the killers had a motive far deeper than robbery. But when detectives followed a trail of digital breadcrumbs to the couple who scheduled the showing, what they uncovered next would change everything. Detectives dug into the couple's background, peeling back the layers of seemingly ordinary lives to uncover a pattern of deception, manipulation, and escalating danger. Lyndon Wiggins and Elsa Segura, the names behind the polite phone calls and friendly smiles, weren't just strangers, they were experienced in the art of pretense. Neighbors described them as quiet, polite, maybe a little too private. But in the shadows, their lives were anything but ordinary. Digital forensics became the key. Emails, text messages, and deleted social media posts painted a horrifying picture. Weeks before Monique's disappearance, Wiggins and Segura had been coordinating their plan with a precision that rivaled a military operation. They scouted the property, noted surveillance blind spots, and timed the viewing to coincide with a window when the agent would be alone. Everything about the operation screamed premeditation, a cold, calculated cruelty designed to strike without hesitation. Meanwhile, the city's law enforcement struggled to track the trail. Surveillance footage showed a nondescript van following Monique's route, but the license plates were swapped, the registration fake. Inside the van, evidence suggested a second accomplice, someone who could move quickly and quietly, ensuring the plan succeeded. For the investigators, each lead seemed to open more doors than it closed, each discovery raising more questions than answers. Friends and colleagues of Monique described the real estate agent as cautious, someone who always checked the background of clients and never let her guard down. How could this couple have bypassed her instincts? How could they have lured her into a trap with such confidence? It became painfully clear that the danger wasn't just in the act itself. It was in the way they had infiltrated her life, exploited her trust, and turned her profession into a weapon against her.
Then an anonymous tip arrived, a shadow from the past that threatened to blow the case wide open. The caller claimed that Wiggins and Segura had been planning other crimes, minor at first, but escalating in severity, using similar tactics of deception. The implication was chilling. Monique might not have been their only target. A pattern of manipulation, abduction, and murder was emerging, a pattern that could extend far beyond the city limits. In the midst of the investigation, a critical piece of evidence surfaced in a way no one expected. Hidden inside the home where the viewing had taken place, tucked behind a loose panel in the floorboards, was a memory card. Its contents were disturbing. Videos of the couple rehearsing their plan, practicing how to coerce and control their victim, reviewing maps and timing each step down to the minute. The level of planning revealed a terrifying clarity. This wasn't a crime of passion, it was a crime of obsession. But the most shocking discovery was yet to come. Among the digital files, investigators found something that tied the couple directly to Monique in a personal way. A note, a recording, a subtle clue that suggested the attack was not random at all. It wasn't just about money or power or even the thrill of control. The motive cut deeper, darker, and more personal than anyone had imagined. And when detectives traced the couple's next move, they realized someone else was involved. Someone closer than they had ever suspected. Someone who might have helped orchestrate the trap from the shadows. Detectives now had the couple's digital footprint, the memory card evidence, and a growing network of witnesses. Every lead pointed to Wiggins and Segura, but the hidden accomplice remained elusive, a ghost orchestrating moves behind the scenes. The city held its breath as investigators pieced together the final hours of Monique Baugh's life, retracing her steps and reconstructing the events leading to her murder. Through tireless work, the police finally caught a break. Surveillance cameras from a neighboring building captured a fleeting image, a shadowy figure helping to maneuver the victim into a waiting vehicle. The angle was brief, the footage grainy, but it was enough. The investigators had been right. Someone had been guiding the couple, someone who knew Monique's routines intimately. A deeper betrayal was uncovered. A former client, one she had trusted implicitly, had provided details about her schedule. This revelation shook everyone connected to the case. The danger had been closer than anyone imagined. The trial that followed exposed the meticulous cruelty of Wiggins and Segura. Prosecutors detailed the premeditation, the fake home showing, the digital manipulation, the careful selection of a remote location. The videos on the memory card were shown in court, chilling the jury as they watched the couple rehearsing their plan, rehearsing her fear as if it were a script in a movie. Friends and family testified about Monique's caution and professionalism, underscoring the terrifying skill with which the couple had exploited her trust. But the story wasn't just about the murder itself. It was about the hidden motives, the obsession that had driven Wiggins and Segura to such lengths. Financial gain was part of it, but jealousy and personal vendettas had fueled the cruelty, twisting a calculated crime into something almost ritualistic in its precision. Every detail, from the timing of the viewing to the disposal of evidence, spoke of control and obsession, a sinister choreography that left investigators both horrified and awed at the cold efficiency of it all. The courtroom drama reached its peak when a final piece of evidence was revealed, a message left on Monique's voicemail just hours before her death. From the hidden accomplice, The voice was familiar, calm, almost casual, a chilling reminder that betrayal had been closer than anyone imagined. It confirmed what investigators had feared. Monique's murder was not just a crime, it was a calculated, personal attack executed by people who had studied her every move. In the end, justice caught up with them. Wiggins and Segura were sentenced, the accomplice was identified, and the community breathed a tentative sigh of relief. Yet the haunting nature of the case lingered. Monique's story served as a grim reminder of how trust can be weaponized, and how danger often comes disguised as the familiar and the safe. As the courtroom emptied and the city moved on, one thought remained. The killers were behind bars, but their shadows stretched far beyond the alley where Monique's life ended. And for those following the case, one question lingered in the mind long after the verdict. How many other perfect showings had been staged, waiting silently for their next unsuspecting victim? If this story sent chills down your spine, remember, reality can be darker than any fiction. Hit subscribe, stay alert, and never underestimate the danger hiding behind a smile.